Yo, what's going on, boys? It's your man back for another figure review, and today we are taking a deep, in-depth, inside look at Neca TMNT, the Mirage Comics Bootleg Michelangelo. Now, this figure here, you may be thinking it's a bootleg, so it must suck, which it's got the floppy leg, but this is actually a very, very good figure. Now, recently, NECA has restarted the Mirage Comics line when, with, just like Casey Jones, the Krang, or Utram, then Renette, all that kind of stuff, the new Shredder. But they have not released Turtles yet. And if you did not know, these Turtles were released originally back in 2008, which is just, that's a hefty minute ago. But the legends on the bootleg market, I don't know if they're still producing them today, but they still are out there today. And you can acquire one of these boys for just about $30 is what I paid, which is not a bad price at all. It's pretty much retail for, like modern day NECA, even cheaper a little bit because the inflation hit hard in the figure market. But it actually is not too bad to get one of these guys now. There's a lot of them on eBay, all those aftermarket places. And I actually got this one brand new, mint in package, which is sweet. And speaking of package, let's take a look. He came in this, little oval box, the plastic, but actually has some really nice artwork on it. And I really do like the way these boxes are laid out, A lot of some product shots on the front here. Got some sick artwork, little biographical, I ain't reading. Then we got a little logo on the front, stuff on the bottom, Ninja Turtles on the top. Sick. I actually really do like the box. And you can tell it's old because they still had the metal ties that held in the figure and not the plastic ones they use now. That gave me a flashback to when I first started collecting. They had the metal ties, and it was, you had to bring 18 knives and 4 guns to get a figure out the package back then. But now, it's not bad at all. Even now, if you got the snips, it's not bad with the metal ones. But moving on to the actual figure here. Talking about the paint sculpt on this guy. So, sculpting is actually really, really good. Paintwork, I don't know if I can say the same. I'm not sure if they're supposed to have weird toes like that, but they do. There was a lot of like plastic fringe or whatever hanging off on all the joints, on the edge of everything. Like you could see the thick seam lines all the way down. You can see it on the arms too. And then the biceps too a little bit were funky. I think I'm gonna have to heat it up and stick them on a little bit more, but they're not looking too bad. And then for the actual paintwork, in some spots it looks really good. The front here, the shell isn't bad. The bandana's pretty all right. A little bit of orange bleeding over, but it's not too bad. And then all the sculpting on the legs and everything, the green looks pretty decent. There's just a lot of areas. It looks like a very cheap figure, which it probably was. Produced a long time ago. I'm actually not even sure when these were produced, because it says 2008, but I don't know if it's like, were they produced the second the real figures came out? I don't know. We're gonna have to see. But now, excuse me, moving on to articulation on this guy, which is actually quite good for a figure that old. On the head, there's a ball joint right at the top. You get some nice movement going on. You got, of course, the hinge right here, so you can get literally the best up and down you ever seen in your life. And then the hinge swivels too, so you can get some side to side the neck there as well. At the shoulders, usual hinge. They go up to about 90, not too bad. They rotate around. Of course, the shell gets in the way at some point. Oof. Oof. Then at the bicep, nice little swivel. Single jointed elbow, works pretty decent. And then going down to the wrist, there's, this one is super tight. There's a swivel, and of course, a little up and down hinge. Not too bad at all. If it was a little looser, it'd be a little better. There is actually maybe a waist swivel, I can't tell. It looks like there is, but it is not broken in yet, so maybe not. At the hips, they kick out to the side very well. They go forward pretty decent. The shell is a little bit flexible, so you get some movement. They got a nice little thigh swivel in there too. Double jointed knees, which actually work really good and are nice and tight compared to the pretty loose and floppy hips. And then at the foot, big old foot here for the foot fans. It's got a hinge that works really well. And then a really, really poopy pivot, which I think is the only downfall on the figure. It does not have the best pivot or really any pivot, but he stands up just fine. He looks good while doing it. So now moving on to the accessories, which this man only comes with 2 nunchucks. Which they look pretty good. They got the nice metal chain still, which is nice, and they're pretty good quality. You could swing them around. He holds them really easy. This one, he's got a little bit of an open hand here, so you just gotta like grip the top of it, get the top in his big grippers, and it works easy. And then this one, it actually fits in the usual way, and it fits perfectly fine. This man looks really good, and he actually fits very, very well with the modern day NECA Mirage figures, which is a great cutaway gag, Family Guy style. Remember the time I compared this Michelangelo to the rest of my Michelangelos? Okay, here we got the comparison. This guy actually looks really, really good and fits well with the rest of the Mikeys. And I'd say, in all, he's probably one of my favorite looking turtles, actually, which is interesting because these figures are super hard to find legit. So really the only way you can get them is bootleg, which is interesting because NECA could probably make some real Skrilla if they just re-release these turtles. Even if it was like a SDCC 4-pack or something crazy like that, or harder to find, so it wasn't just a general release, so the price wouldn't exactly tank, but they stayed about the same or a little bit low. I don't know. If that would happen, that'd be pretty cool, because I would like a whole set of these. NECA, send me when I'm a reviewer. I will give you good content. Alright, moving on. Now, actually comparing it to some of the newer Mirage stuff, we have the first couple general releases, I'd say, of Utrom, and then the boy, Casey Jones. Now, Casey Jones. Now, I do actually have Renette, but I did not open it because I'm not a big Renette head. Cannot say that I am. But I also did just order the Fugitoid, so I have a lot of the Mirage stuff. And I really gotta say, it's like, it doesn't just feel like the same figures with a different line. It kind of feels like a completely different line. Like, even just comparing it to the, some of the recent, cartoon figures, they look completely different. Like, they don't look like they even would come from the same line, which I like a lot. I really think this Mirage line goes hard. And now, we'll bring Renette in over here. The sick comparison, in-box comparison. And then getting the rest of these boys out the way. And we'll come in with the last 2 of the Mirage figures that I have. The black and white ones, which there actually are black and white versions of these turtles that are even harder to get than the regular versions, which is insane. But they are super cool. I think they were SDCC in 2008 or something like that. Really old SDCC. And they're really cool, which I wish someone wants to sport them for me, or NECA re-release them, please, or do something, because I know NECA, they have showed off another Mirage set of turtles, but they're from later on in the comic books. They're not this look. They're when they're real girthy and thick from like issue 10 on or whatever, 11 or something like that. And not that I don't like those designs, but I'd rather have a re-release of this set of them, because this is like, I'd say, the definitive comic design for the turtles, and I think we need them re-released. So now, after I'm done yapping, talking a lot about this fake figure, which actually, again, there's a lot of fake figures that suck balls and are horrible. This is one of them that I think stands toe-to-toe with the real one, which usually that is when they make bootlegs for figures that are very expensive, which is the only time I've ever seen them be decent, which is one of these. So, again, if you guys are looking for them, they're on eBay, $30, something like that. You can get the whole set for like, probably like $8,000, really, like real ones. But bootleg, you can get them for like $120 to get a whole set or something like that. And it's actually really worth it. They're very solid figures. So thank you guys so much for watching. Next review may or may not be on Toka and Rizar. Spoiler alert, don't let nobody know. And I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching.